Hey lovelies, welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Donna and today's video is going to be a A Valentine's Day reading vlog. So let's jump into it.
Just know something, I ain't settling, so I'll just wait for the one that's meant for me, 'cause I know my worth and I know I'm worth it.
I randomly came across this video that I'm currently making accidentally when I was on reading sprints last Friday for readathon reading sprints. I went to Everand, which you know as Scribd, or formerly as Scribd. They had a little section that had popped up when I went to go get my audiobook that was more or less book a Valentine's Day date. And they gave me 4 options of said book. And I have chosen 2 that I would like to read for this reading vlog. I have a hard time with reading vlogs. They really scare me. We'll just say that one right now. But I'm hoping that I can make this one really good. There is another special video that I'm currently making as well, which won't be included in this video, but it'll be like a separate vlog sort of reading talking, but that will be with my husband and I cannot wait for you guys to see that one. So I'm excited to go on this little date that Everand has technically set up for me. So let's jump into the 2 books that I have chosen, which I will share each photo and then read off the synopsis from Goodreads to tell you what they are about. And yeah, we'll just get right in on to reading and giving you updates throughout my experience with these 2 books. Now, I did want to say I had 2 books that I wanted to read, but I didn't know which ones for, well, technically it came with 4 books. So I chose 3. And I chose 2 for my community over here on YouTube to choose. And the one that won was A Vampire Bewitched by L.E. Wilson. The cover will be here, and I will read to you over here on my computer what exactly this book is about. So I found a shorter synopsis because Goodreads was long. So, A Vampire Bewitched. Emma deserves more than an eternity with a vampire, but the moment he tastes her blood, Nick knows it's too late. Her life is now linked to his. Emma still has nightmares about the night her sister was kidnapped. The scars she bears all over her body, a constant reminder of what happened. But she hasn't given up hope. So that's what that little synopsis says. And it's actually really intriguing me. It could be the first book I choose to pick up and listen to in this vlog. So we'll see what happens. And that cover of the vampire, that's some spicy stuff. So the next one that nobody knows that I am choosing to read is called Tempt Me by Tara Wyatt. I believe that's how you say the last name. The cover is again going to be beside me. And steamy cover as well. I can't. I also looked up a short synopsis because these Goodreads synopsises are way too long, and I feel like either 1, there's going to be a spoiler, or 2, it's just way too long to like, I don't want to read a whole story in a synopsis. I want to read a little bit to just get me wanting to read the book. Okay, enough of that. The synopsis for Tempt Me. A lone wolf with a past, Killian. I say that, and the first thing I think of is Killian from Once upon a time, the Captain Hook, Killian. Okay, moving on. Killian always kept to himself, especially after the tragic deaths of his father and brother. But then he met Whitney, a woman who is sunshine to his storm clouds, light to his darkness. She's everything he's ever wanted and everything he can never have. He can never have. Sounds a little hot. So yeah, these are the two that I will be reading for this date with Everand. I don't know if I want to say it's a date with Everand, but Everand did suggest these books. The other two you've seen in the clip I shared of showing I got this little pop-up. I don't think I will read either of those at all. Just saying. But I'm happy to read some books that I've never heard of. So let's go on our first date with books. And I will see you guys in my next update clip.
Hi! I've done his vlog. Voted on, is that the one you're currently reading? Is that the vlog? Yeah. I'm like, what vlog am I saying hi to?
A Vampire Bewitched, Deathless Night, Book 1, by L.E. Wilson. Read for you by James Amherst. This book is dedicated to my family and their ability to fend for themselves while Mom is writing, but especially to my husband, Joe, whose love, support, encouragement, and knowledge of websites and marketing has saved me from a lot of hair pulling. I love you all.
Update time. I am on chapter 6, so I'm about 12% in. So like 41 pages. And it's okay. There's a lot of people involved in this book though. I don't know how many are going to be still here or like who are important, I guess we'll say, because there are quite a few people to name. And to name some, there's Lucas, which is a high vampire dude that nobody can break, supposedly. We have a woman with no name yet who meets with Lucas for some random reason. I don't know. Then we have Nick, which is the main character. And he is a vampire. He's a vampire. He's supposed to be like a hot vampire though. That he also had a bad feeling for this Lucas Lucas vampire, to go meet this woman. So there was a weird vibe there. And that was like mostly in the prologue. So then we have Aiden, who I wrote down saying I think is a vampire, but come to find out he is actually a vampire. So we kind of already knew that, but still. Which further down in my notes, I have put down that I really love Aiden because he is hilarious and witty, and I love it. He's hilarious. I love it. I can't stop saying it. Then we have Emma, which is another main character. And she technically is being sought out by Nick, who wants to bring her to the vampire side. And supposedly there's witches involved. I did not know that. I thought it was only vampires, but I guess it's witches and vampires. So that's awesome to know. She also has a sister named Kira, who goes missing, and both her parents are dead as well. So heartbreaking, but you know, they don't really talk about the parents' deaths, so it's just mentioned once. In my notes, supposedly there is monsters, not vampires or any of that, just actual like monsters. I'm going to tell you the description of said monsters. The monsters are something. Okay. These monsters have skin oozing with rotting smell of death, bleeding, bulging eyes, and their bodies are tall and muscular. Powerful arms hanging almost to their knees, long yellow claws, and they wear no clothing. And I did put in here, I mean, they are monsters. Do they wear clothing? Like, I don't know. I don't. When you think of monsters, like gross monsters, they don't wear clothing, right? Um, Then it has the description that so they wear no clothing with genitalias hanging between their legs. What? So then I was like, okay, maybe they need clothing. And then we have a Mark who is some guy at Emma's workplace that likes her and supposedly is married with 3 kids. I have no idea there. Like, I think the thing I would not like about this book is all the names I have to remember. I am not good at remembering the names, yeah, of people, and having a book with lots of people in it, it's become very difficult to remember who is who. Okay, so supposedly Nick doesn't actually drink from human blood. What? Supposedly Nick doesn't drink from people. He only drinks from like the blood bank bags and stuff. Kind of reminds me of Stefan from Vampire Diaries. There it is. So that part reminds me of him. But I have to jump forward. First off, supposedly this master vampire who nobody can get or nobody can harm or something, he's been missing for like 7 years by this random woman that we don't even know. So kind of confused how a master vampire was beaten, we'll say. Anyways, Emma has met Nick so far, and I'm godsmacked over her thought of him right now. So it says, good God, who was that? The male who entered was every bad girl's dream, and probably the good ones too. She could practically feel her panties hit the floor from just looking at him. From just looking at this hot, sexy vampire, her panties practically hit the floor. The narrator of this book is a husky male's voice. And can I just tell you right now that when the chapter ended with Nick going, hello, Emma, like, oh, in my bones, like, I think I might be liking this book so far. Even with the multiple characters and the monsters with genitalias hanging between their legs. What's that say about me? I don't know. The last chapter had to do with like a lot of sexy thoughts, and I'm okay with those. So I'm gonna probably take a break from reading right now because I have to more or less see my kids when I get home, and I have to start dinner, which I don't even know what we're having. So I'm gonna go, and hopefully this update wasn't too bad. Editing me is gonna hate it, but you know. So I'm I'm gonna go. And I will see you in my next update. Hi guys, I'm here for an update on A Vampire Bewitched by L.E. Wilson. I have finished said book, and I'll give you my rating at the end. Like maybe at the end of the whole video, but we'll see what I say. We'll see what comes out of my mouth. I think it's funny. I laughed. Like really, really laughed because I mentioned in one of the clips that I didn't realize that there was witches in this book. And then I reread what I read and the title of this book. And I'm like, of course, Donna, there's gonna be witches because the title says A Vampire Bewitched. Mind blown. Anyways, I have thoughts. So on my notes section, I've put down like about how there is multiple people in this book, which is fine. It's fine for some people, just not for me. I struggle with having more than like 4 characters or more than 3 characters sometimes. And this book had a lot more than that. Like you have the first, like the 3 main characters plus, well, no, 2 main characters. Then you have their friend, you have the brother that he's trying to save, the sister, you have 3 werewolves that come in, which to be honest, I feel are really funny. I like not love them, like they are funny and do the wrong thing, but they are funny. And then you have the evil person and her gremlins, and then you also have 3 other vampire people that, yeah, I don't even know. So like there's so many people in this book that I don't think I will go to the next one, to be frank, because there is I think 6 books in this series and I did not know that while picking this up, but it's fine. I do really think Aiden is my favorite character, which is the friend to Nick, and he is just hilarious. Everything that comes out of his mouth I laugh at. I was hysterical over, but it is very, very insta love, and I'm not one for insta love. I'm more like the enemies to lovers trope, but the insta love kind of is like, oh, they're already okay. And to put it all together, it is a very 18 plus book. I mean, very graphic on some sexual scenes, which, I mean, I'm here for that. I'm not here for those grotesque monsters I told you guys about and possible things that try to happen to things, and I'm just like, I'm not here for monster smut. Like I am here for monster smut in some ways, but I haven't actually read monster smut, and I was okay with the vampire smut. Just I think there was just too much with vampire stuff and monster stuff, okay? So technically I wrote down that the story is like a fated mate story where the vamps find his mate but will not take from her as he feels he could kill her. Oh. The girl that is the evil one, her name is like Leah or something like that. Don't actually remember the name. I think it's Leah. But she reminds me so much of Anne Morantha in A Court of Thorns and Roses. Just the way it played out. Like, I'm here for A Court of Thorns and Roses. I will say, I do have a funny thing that happened because there was one point, okay, I said this before. The guy narrating the book is like a husky, like deep voice man. And it sounds really nice when he does the male voices. And supposedly they were calling someone's phone and they got voice message, and all it said, and I'm gonna try it, all it said was Dante. And I was like, oh my god, why are you doing that? Because all I thought of was Batman. Just the voice he had and how he said the word, the name Dante, and then it's like, he's not Batman. It was funny. I did like the book to a point. Like, obviously I did read till the end. And it wasn't too cringy, too bad. It's insta love. It's funny. It's 18 plus, so it's smutty and spicy and everything under the sun. I believe I'm gonna rate it right now, and then at the end see which book I actually liked more between this one and my next read. I'm rating this book, it's like a 3-star, but I'm thinking it's like more 3.5. I'm gonna do a 3.5 for this book. It wasn't too bad, but it's not my favorite. It's not one that I would keep on my shelf, but it is something that, okay, I've read it and let's move on now. This is the last update for this one. I'll see you soon with an update of when I started my next book. Okay, so I just finished Tempt Me by Tara Wyatt. I believe that's how you say the last name, but oh my god, I love this book. I need to do my call pile still. This dog is walking around. I'm sorry. I need to do my call pile still, but right now it's sitting at like a 4.5, maybe 5-star read. I just can't. I don't even know what to say right now. Killian is my new book boyfriend. Hitman boyfriend, you know, he's my new one. Oh my gosh, I just, give me more. Okay, so first off, I didn't actually realize that this author is from Ontario, Canada until the end, until it read to me where the author was from, and I was like, wait, what? Another Canadian? And I'm excited about this book. Yes, please. Okay, so the thing that I'm upset about with this book is how you have... Do you have words too? So you have two narrators. You have a boy and a girl that does Whitney's voice and Killian's voice. And give me, yes, especially Killian. Okay? I'm not happy about when, like, the sex scenes come and I only hear from Whitney's point of view, like her voice. And I'm like, give me Killian and the gruffness man voice that I've been hearing when Killian talks, because I need it. I do, yeah, there is one sex scene that has him in it, and it's near more or less the end, which, yes, thank you, but give me more male voice for the male sex parts, okay? I just, fantasy in head, I need it. Either way, this book is technically about like mob bosses, like a mob boss, like a hitman that works for a mob or used to work for a mob that kills people who are doing bad things. And he likes Whitney, who is, excuse me, I'm talking. Whitney, who is a what was it? A romance fantasy author, like a best-selling romance fantasy author. And yeah, some of the things that she says was like, oh, this is like a fantasy from my book, and I'm like, can you let me live it? Because like I'd love to live that fantasy. Yeah. Okay, so first off, I keep saying first off, this book actually had a plot to it. It wasn't all about sex. And I'm actually glad about that, because sometimes when you read a book, it's all about sex. But this one had a lot of plot to it, like, you know, the fact that she was an author and he was a hitman, and you got their background of like where she came from, who she is, where he came from, how he grew up, or like where he's become, or how he's become this hitman. And then you have their connection to each other. At first, I was about to hate him because he sounded very rude to her. And then he's more in the whole mine, she's mine, and if you touch her, she, like, you will be killed type thing. So possessiveness, and I'm here for it. Will say I'm actually gonna add in some clips. If I haven't added them in yet, I'm gonna add them in now and show you my reactions of reading this book, because I was on a live stream for technically Once Upon a Broken Heart book that I was supposed to be starting today, which I will be starting later today, for a new vlog that I'm creating, because who is she making vlogs up in this house? But yeah, so I'll add those clips in right now.
Tell it to my heart, all the words they don't know. I see it in your eyes, there's the fire in your soul. And I'll be here hoping, waiting for more. Why don't you give me love? You give me love. 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 Please don't be afraid. I know you feel the same. Promise me that I'm not waiting in vain. And I'll be here hoping, waiting for more. Why don't you give me love? You give me love. 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 Don't wait until your last breath. Better try than regret. You know we're running out of time. I'll be yours and you'll be mine. Why don't you give me love? You give me love. 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 Why don't you give me love? You give me love. You give me love. You give me love. You give me love. You give me Tell it to my heart, all the words they don't know. I see it in your eyes, there's the fire in your soul. And I'll be here hoping, waiting for more.
So now that you've seen those clips, hopefully, I haven't got them out right now, but like hopefully they're good clips, or I'm just not gonna put this in this video because I'm calling myself out here. I don't know. I really love this book. I kind of want more. Oh, what did I do? In the beginning, I know I'm like everywhere right now in this video, but I just finished this book. Just finished. But in the beginning, it took me almost all day to read chapter 1. 1, because I got busy, but 2 is every time I turn around and something happened, I had to pause so I can write my thoughts down, but I also had to tell my husband about said things because it felt so much like me. And my mother, actually, because it was funny, the mom was like, "Oh, who's this man? He's so hot." And I'm like, okay. And then she said something about, just because I'm in my 50s doesn't mean like my sex drive is, yeah, it's funnier in the book, so you'd have to read it. But yeah, I do have something to read out for you guys. Okay, so I have to read you the first sentence of this book because it's one of my favorites, I guess. It's something that would draw me in if I didn't read the book already. So the first sentence is, "I've always been a sucker for happy endings, the kind where the hero gets the girl, the villains are defeated, the world is saved, and all is well, where the couple rides off happily into the sunset to have amazing sex and make babies, where everything will always work out." I mean, wouldn't isn't that funny? It is a funny like beginning, and it's true because like sometimes this is why we read books. We want that happy ending. So into all of this, it's the fact of like, because I don't want to spoil things, because I'll tell you right now, there's a couple of things in there I just want to be like, oh my god, this happened, this happened, this happened, and I'm like, I can't do that. I don't want to spoil you guys, but I can say I did like this book. I did enjoy it. I will be doing my rating at some point. As of right now, I'm gonna say it's a 4.5, just to be on the safe side, because I did really enjoy this book so much. We are back in the same position I was in when I first started this reading vlog, so let's finish this off. So one thing I wanted to put in here was I chatted with my husband a little bit more about the first book I read, which was A Vampire Bewitched. And I'm gonna say, because I brought up in the beginning about the whole monster smut and how it probably isn't for me, and I really don't know that because I haven't read any monster smut yet. However, these monsters, and I'm gonna read off here, these monsters would come and try to do more or less kill her, but at the same time try to shove their schlongs in her, and in hindsight, more or less it would be like an attempted rape, which while talking to my husband I realized that's something I don't want to read about. I don't want to read about these really nasty monsters trying to kill the person and then possibly rape the person at the same time as trying to kill them. So that was a little after talking to my husband thought. So let's move on to this ending and see how it all worked out. See what my, like, you already know my general thoughts, but let's just start from the beginning. So this video was based on Everand giving me suggestions for a book, A Valentines Day Date. Did they actually book me a date? That's the question. That's what you're here for. And obviously from what you've seen in this video, I say they have. I say my date with Tempt Me was one of my favorite dates that I've been on with a book, which says the least because it's the only date I've been on with a book if we're talking about actual dates. So Because, like, obviously I've been on multiple dates with my books, but being on this date was a little steamy, was a little smutty, and I am here for it. Everand, thank you for putting me on a date. Vampire Bewitched, I would swipe left. I believe that's how it's said. I don't know the swiping game, but it's the one swipe that I would say no to. How about we give it a, it's fine, but just like take me to dinner and then take me home. The tempt me can go to the right. It can go, yes, please, take me to dinner, take me to your room or my room and do what you please, because that is how it ended. The covers will be on each side of me, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I would gladly be taken by a hitman at any time. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh gosh. What have I done? What has Everand made me do? Okay, because I'm gonna blame this on Everand for giving me these choices to pick a date with, and now I'm swooning over a hitman. I mean, thank you to Tara Wyatt for making this book and making me be like swooning. We'll say swooning. I think that's the word we'll use. So I'm gonna close out of this reading vlog. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk or whatever kind of talk this is. Thank you for coming on this book date with me, and I hope you enjoyed my content. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below if you would read any of this, or if you like this video, or an emoji of any kind, to be honest, because I'm flustered right now. I have no idea. I need to go cool down. That's what I need to do. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Usually I post Wednesdays, so I will see you possibly on Wednesday or whenever I post my next video. And have a great day. I'm gonna go cool down now. Bye.